This episode comes on the tail of one where we're talking about better productivity. And, I alluded in that podcast, in case you haven't heard it, go back. And I think it's just last week's podcast. But I alluded to the fact that there are post pandemic more coaches and more fitness trainers than ever before in the world because so many people left their 9 to 5 type jobs and evacuated and said, look, I want to do something meaningful. I want to do something that's fun, that has purpose for me. And they want to do health coaching. But do you know that there are a lot more health coaches, but they're not all employed? It's a side hustle. It's a hobby. It's a certification, collecting dust. And you, if you're here, don't want to be one of those. So I'm going to dive into this, how to start making money as a health professional. And I mean serious kind of money, not the kind that just buys you lunch, not the kind that goes into a little, my mom used to call it pin money. I don't know where that came from. Pin money. Odd. But anyway, this episode may be a little tough love. The way to start making money as a health professional is to stop making excuses. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business. It's a division of my overarching business, Voice for Fitness. And here our team knows that you want to be an inspirational example to other midlife women. And in order to do that, you and I have to have profitable health and fitness businesses. Even if that idea of earning money, making money scares you or turns you off, remember you can donate it, you can scholarship anybody you want to, but money does have power. You can get in front of the right people, you can make the right choices, right decisions, and you can be vocal and be heard if you have it. So use it however you want to, but you also deserve to have a lifestyle that you love and one that your family loves as well. So today, 2 things. 1, the Well Pros Mastermind and mentorship. You can still get in. It's not too late for us to help you with your pricing, your offers, your positioning. You're starting those programs. How are you going to position yourself so that you get seen and heard? And people say, I want to go to this one because she resonates with me. If that's you, I want you to go to the show notes because I'm going to put a link in so that you can get into it. It's month to month. There's no long obligation. You have nothing to lose. I promise you. You get access to the library of all the calls for as long as you're in, even if that's just 1 month. But why would you do that? Because you're going to learn so much, not just of your asking questions and getting answers, but from listening to others' questions. Promise you, it will be well worth it. You've got to surround yourself with people who are doing it, taking risks, getting out of their comfort zone to do what they need to do to grow that business and to love it. And I know it's a little uncomfortable when you're there, but it's the same thing we're asking every day of our clients to do. Whether it's a health coaching client or a fitness client, we're asking them to get uncomfortable doing things they've never done before, never been good at before, in order to get better results. Meaning temporarily they're going to feel worse. I get it. And so do they. And you need to too see that this is meta for you. Okay. So second thing I want you to do is go get the Health and Fitness Professionals Business Scorecard. I created that just for you. If you've not downloaded that yet, it'll be in the show notes. We're going to dive right into this. So let's get started. This is the time to be thinking about it. Obviously, you can't think, oh, they're just going to drop in my lap because it's the new year or early in the year. Same thing of summertime or spring training or getting back into things in fall. There are times there's a lift in business and it gets easier, but only if you know how to amplify that, turn it into evergreen, regular, consistent revenue, can you keep the lights on, so to speak. So it's the same thing I'd say to women who want to start getting stronger or more toned or lose weight. She has to stop making excuses for what she can't do. Look, we're all busy. Busy isn't the problem. Busy doing the wrong thing is the problem. So I just mentioned prior episode is on productivity. Go listen to that one if you haven't, but stay with me for right now. You have to admit that it's much safer to say you aren't ready. You need a certification. You need more time. But the truth is all of us who've been doing big things who we did big things have done it not in spite of things that could have gotten in the way, but because things got in the way. That sounds odd, I suppose. But what I mean by that is, say the wheels are falling off the bus. There's a tragedy in the family. Well, sometimes because there's a tragedy, you realize the importance of life, the fragility, it's not infinite. We don't think there's tomorrow anymore. When it happens, it's like at any point I could get in this car and this would be the last time I got in the car. It could be the last time I hugged somebody goodbye. When you've had a family tragedy like that, or you've had some other life instance wake you up, be grateful and then use it. Use it with everything you have. And this is what may make you get into motion. So it's so very important. The number one way to scale a business, which means to make money without making more time investment, is a digital course. Since 2010, really, digital courses have been the number one growth formula for those with a proven system and a formula for getting results. Anyone from needlepoint to gardening to choreography to cooking, growing tomatoes can create a digital course. So fitness lends itself to pictures and videos and voiceover. So very easy. It's an easy way to create a course, but that is not what I'm talking about here. In order to scale, most of us cannot afford to do a low ticket offer first. So unless you're going to charge $2,000 or $3,000 for your course, and you have access to people who are ready to pay you $2,000 and $3,000, most people start their courses at $99 or $299 or $199. We can't afford to start a business selling a course of that price, not unless you know hundreds and thousands of people that you can send it to, that offer goes to. Do you know how many, the percent of people who buy? Less than 5%. Really, it's about 2%. So you've got to have an awful lot of people who will buy a low ticket item in order to help that get you started and get you leverage. So yes, I mean, you should be able to say, well, I should be able to make, one or two sales at least every single day. And if I did that and it was a $200 course, okay, so I've got $400 every day. And, a digital store is open every day. So $400 every day, 30 days of the month, how much is that? But how long will it be until you consistently have that? Because you will send that to your small list right now, and then you'll burn them out. You can't keep sending that same thing to them. So you've got to have a better way. Think about your monthly bills. They're going to keep coming in while you aren't making anything. If you don't have an email list and you aren't ready to promote what you're building yet to a big email list, you have to have an alternative plan. You have to decide before you're making money as a health professional that you're going to make this work. The number one thing you can do is not build a course. It's decide you're actually in this. I've worked with some coaches who got started and I said, I promise you'll make $5,000 more a month by the time we're done in 90 days if you follow what I tell you. Well, she didn't want to. And then she, we're close to 12 weeks being up and said, I'm not quite there. How am I going to get there to $5,000 more every month? I said, well, did you do what I told you week one? No, I don't want to do that, right? I want to build a course. I said, well, unless you have 100,000 people on your email list to send that course to, I don't think you can start that way. Prove me wrong, because I love that. I'd love to cheerlead for you and have you say, no, I did it. But in general, that's not the way it's going to work. What we need to do is that we have to make it happen. We have to make it welcome. We have to create space and time that you allow yourself the ability to expand. So this sounds a little woo-woo right now, but we're not pretending. You have to put yourself in the space that I am going to build a course. It's going to be wildly successful. People are going to want it. If they haven't done it before, they're going to want to get into it. But it's easy and risky to start comparing yourself to other people or start on a path of acquiring. Like, just, I'm going to procrastinate. I'm going to acquire certifications and degrees and not actually find yourself loving either the journey or the outcome that you have. And that's no good. So most health fitness professionals love the journey. They love what they do every day. They love the exercise part. They love being in a casual exercise environment where they feel confident. But that still is not generating revenue, right? So what would you love? Ask, what would you love? Confusion can be a really convenient cover up for avoidance. You can say, I'm so confused, I don't know what to do. And you can stay there if you let yourself. You're going to have to give yourself a little tough love. Because if you're just saying, I'm just confused about what step to take, what to do, the path is really right there. But sometimes we don't want to take it. We want to take a shortcut. We want to get there a different way. I want to do it this way. Success leaves clues. So if not very many people are doing it the way you're describing, it doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means that it's going to be a little harder. It may take a little longer and may not work. So how much time do you have? How much money and energy do you have to wait it out and see if your way works? So think about the fact that you could be avoiding success. And maybe you're scared of that. Maybe it's success that you're scared of. What could you be afraid of? Ask that question. You might be letting other things get in your way, like being too busy at work, or when reality is that's a very comfortable out, because then you really don't have to do something that is scary. You don't actually have to put all your marbles, in one basket, or is that eggs, right? Eggs in one basket. So if you have to quit that job that you don't really love anyway, it's just a comfortable paycheck and safe and secure, to do the thing that you really love, now you would have to do it. You'd have to put yourself out there. You'd have to risk rejection. You'd have to do some things you weren't comfortable doing. But that's what everyone has done who's finally gotten there. Most have struggled with something. Struggled with their weight publicly, like Oprah. Struggled with drug addiction and abuse, Gabby Bernstein. Struggled with having a son get into tragic accident while she was in debt and about to launch her first book, right? And had no choice. It had to work. But she couldn't say, I'm too busy. She had to do it. And so if you don't, sometimes that's the reason why. If you don't, you're comfortable. I don't actually have to do this. Then you may not do it. So just think about that and the juxtaposition of it, because it can really be kind of a choice that you've got to look at. How safe do you want to be? Is there a way that you can take this to the bank? Do you have a real business idea that somebody would give you a loan for, or investors would invest in? What if you had to go up against Shark Tank? What would they say about what it is that you're doing? So making money as a health professional, number one, is deciding. That's really the first action you have to take. Decide you're doing it. Decide you're going to make it work. And here's something to consider. You can change your mind, but you have to decide and fully commit. Next is create a model that brings in revenue fast. And generally that is private training, private work, and it's a high ticket item. So give them a lot of white glove service, a lot of access to you. Give them things and have them have a transformation. Know what you can promise and deliver. Then create a long game revenue stream. So once you get, what if it was 4 clients at $5,000? Would that work, right? Or 3,000, right? And you had 5 of them. What would that do for you, so that you could relax and think, okay, now I'm really testing my modules on this person. because it's on the line. When somebody pays that much, they expect some transformation, don't you think? So as long as you can deliver it and you can walk step by step by step through, then you're writing your course, you're creating your method, and you're proving it. And you have a testimonial right there, ready to go. Test the plane while you're flying it. That concept comes from How to Grow Your Small Business by Donald Miller. So I am a coach, a BMS coach with Donald Miller's program, and Business Made Simple is what we call it. And, that is kind of representative of the mission and the sales and the marketing and all of the pieces that are the business in the back end. And you have to just start. And sometimes then you have to course correct while you're doing it. But don't build an entire course and then go sell it. Nobody may want that. And add other parts that customers will need along the way. So let's say you sell that private coaching or you sell a course. Once you've built it, what else will they need to make that course easier for them to be successful doing? Will they need a nutrition or a diet plan or recipes? Will they need some equipment that you could be an affiliate for or produce or create if you want to do that? And then what will they need next? These are the questions that you want to be asking. So if you're working with somebody now on a certain program, what will they need next? Maybe when they put their worries and fears about osteoporosis to bed because they've been able to reverse it and they realize I'm on the path to staying healthy. What next? I mean, is there some adventure that they can put their mind on instead? Something uplifting. Think about whether you could be the one to offer that, an adventure training, follow-up program, follow-up membership where they get access to you on a regular basis. The first steps, though, are to dream about the lifestyle that you want and see yourself, actually feel yourself when you see yourself in it. And then when you can see and feel it, start getting into action, creating the who you have to be to get it. But I cannot emphasize this enough for you, that making money as a health professional, almost nobody can afford to offer a low ticket item first. So if your program is not worth several thousands of dollars, you can't afford, unless you have thousands of people on an email list who are just ready and waiting to buy from you, to start in that way. You want to start with private coaching. That gives you the opportunity to nail it. Nail what it is you say to a client all the time. Nail it, and over and over and over. Those things you repeat become your course. The things that you repeat that help them be successful become your course, so that more people can be successful. That's how to make money as a health professional. All right, what are you waiting for? The world needs you right now more than ever. There are lots of goodies at this show. So start making money. Making money as a health professional is where you'll find the show notes. fitnessmarketingmastery.com/making money as a health professional. And I will see you on the flip side.